All right, this is the video you're looking for if you are trying to get into the oil field. In this video, I'm going to break down my four-phase process of trying to get hired and applying in the industry. I'm also going to go over my no returns policy when it comes to dropping off your resume in person. I find that it provides your best chance of actually getting hired. So your first step in the four-phase process of applying to this industry, whether you are here in Midland, Odessa, or Williston, North Dakota, Carlsbad, New Mexico, or anywhere else on the planet, your first step is going to be your third-party websites like Indeed, LinkedIn, RigZone. There's a handful of other little apps you can use for oil field stuff, even applying on Facebook. There are so many oil field help wanted hiring groups on Facebook that you can apply to and send out resumes and chit chat with people who are also looking to get into the industry. So that's phase one. You go to Indeed and you find let's say an Axis Energy floor hand. I can guarantee you there's one up right now. Your job is to apply to that once per week. When it comes to the online applications, apply as often as possible, because when it comes down to entry-level jobs, they can hire any knucklehead to come do this work. So what makes you think they're going to dig through 50,000 resumes? They're not going to do that. They're going to take the first 10 off the top, the most recent applicants. They're going to call them, and if they don't pick up, they'll call the next 10. And if they don't pick up, they'll call the next 10. Your goal is to be on the top. Apply as many times as possible. If you want to do it once a day, you want to get crazy with it, do that. You want to do it once a week, that's what I prefer, do that. Now, you just applied to Indeed, LinkedIn, and RigZone for the Axis Energy floor hand position. You now have 3 applications into this company. Guess what? We're going to do it again. We're going to search up Axis Energy on Google. We're going to find their website. We're going to go to their career page. Once you find their career page, we're going to also apply on their website. We now have 4 applications in for the same job. Like I said, with the online applications, we are going to spam these applications. That's how you get in. Because I'm going to remind you, there are literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people across the nation trying to get these exact jobs. They can't get the local jobs. That's not the ones you guys are applying to. If you're trying to get in from Tennessee or California or Kansas or whatever, you are going against the entire nation when you are applying. You need to be spamming these applications. That was phase 2. We applied on third-party websites, phase 1. We applied on the company's website, that's phase 2. Phase 3, we are going to email, call, or get in touch with them in some way. You can find office numbers online. You can find emails online. Or you can go to LinkedIn, search up that company's LinkedIn people, and you can find HR representatives, maybe a hiring or a recruiting manager. Maybe you can even find other employees that you can send your resume to, and don't bother them. You never want to bother actual people. Spamming applications is fine. Sending 1 or 2 messages to somebody over the span of a couple weeks, totally fine. Don't spam them every day. You don't want to piss anybody off, for lack of a better term. So I've applied online on Indeed, LinkedIn, RigZone. I went and applied on their website. I went and searched up some HR lady on LinkedIn. I sent an email to their recruiting manager, and I also called their office and said, hey, I applied to this position. Here's my name. Here's my contact info. Thank you. Have a good day. Number 4, the final phase of this 4-phase process for applying is going to be showing up in person. Showing up in person is a great idea, especially if you have the resources and time available, or there is a hiring event going on. Don't just come down for the hiring event. Do not expect to get hired from the hiring event. So many people come down here and they're like, man, that hiring event really isn't what I thought it was going to be. And then I left. And I'm like, why would you ever do that? There are 20 companies at the hiring event. There are 2,000 right outside the door, all down I-20, all down 191, all of these other highways here in West Texas that you could have applied to. There were thousands of companies, and you didn't even bother dropping off a resume. And so many people are like, oh yeah, I wish I would have done that. And there's so much success when people do that, I just had my brother drop off resumes not too long ago. He had 2 offers, like immediately. So that's the 4-phase process. Apply on third-party websites, apply on the company, get in touch with the company, show up in person. Now, let's talk about my no return policy with your resumes, how to actually drop off your resume in person. You would think this wasn't a very controversial topic. You would think this isn't something that people could really mess up, but you'd be really surprised. A lot of people, especially on my TikTok, if you guys don't know, my TikTok has like 100,000 followers. I post every single day talking about the oil field and the oil industry and how to get into it and giving people advice. So I get a lot of comments from people who showed up in person, and some of the comments are great. They dropped off the resumes the correct way. Some of them are bad. And the bad ones always say something along the lines of, well, I went into the company, but they said they weren't hiring. I went into the company and the lady said that I need to apply online, and I just left. That is not how you drop off resumes. You didn't even drop off a resume. Your goal, and this is what we're going to talk about with this no returns policy, you don't go in there and ask a single question. You're not there to ask questions. That lady at the front desk probably has no idea who they're hiring or what they're hiring for or where they're hiring at. Your only goal when going in there is to be polite to the front desk lady or guy or whoever the hell's there, and you are dropping off a resume. You are not there to ask, are you guys hiring? You are not there to ask, do you have any positions available? What about this? What about that? No, 0 questions the whole time. You walk in, you say, hi, how are you doing? Here's my name. I wanted to drop off my resume. I applied to X, Y, and Z position on your website. I just wanted to get this in your hands and in person. Thank you. Have a good day. Leave. Leave. Don't even give them a chance of being like, oh, well, apply online. I did, ma'am. Thank you. Just walk out. That is all you have to do. If you ask a single question in there, you failed. You've done it wrong. I don't care if you have to fold up your resume into a paper airplane, whip open the door and throw it in there and run away. You leave your resume with your contact information in that office. No return policy. I don't care what they say to you. If they want to throw it away, they can throw it away. Leave it in there. It's got your phone number, your email, your address, and your name on it. That is all you got to care about. If you can pair up those 2 strategies, the 4-phase strategy when you go and apply online, and then showing up in person and you use the no returns policy, I am not leaving your office until I leave a resume with you. I don't care if you have to disguise it as a box of donuts or breakfast burritos, even if you got to put it under them, right? Get your contact information in their hands and you leave it in their hands, because that front desk lady, while she may not be the one hiring you, she may not know who's hiring, she can get your resume in the hands of somebody who does. That is their sole job, and if you do it correctly and you're polite to that person, they will want to help you out. Like I said, if you do those 2 things, the 4-phase process when applying online and the no returns policy, you have a really, really good shot of getting a job. I can guarantee you, if you stuck with that and you continuously followed those 2 processes, you will find a job in the oil field. It's not a difficult place to get a job. A lot of people they apply 3 times and they stop applying and they say, man, I waited 4 months. They never called me back. I gave up. That's not how you get an entry-level job. I hate to break that to you. That's not how that works. These companies don't owe you anything. These companies do not want to dig through 10,000 different resumes. They're going to take the ones off the top. And if you show up in person and you hand them a resume, hey, I am ready to go today, that shows you something. That shows them something. And they appreciate that. And I've gotten a job like that. So when I get on here and tell you guys, you take no return policies, I'm here to drop off my resume and I'm going to leave this with you. My job that I got from dropping off a resume, I was halfway out the door. I was walking out of the office and the lady said, hold on a second, let me get this to the manager back there. She gets up, walks to the back office. That dude came out and I had an interview right then and there. That's how that worked. And all I did was I walked in and I said, excuse me, ma'am, I'm just here to drop off a resume. I applied for your flowback operator position. I'm entry level. I'm very interested in it and I'm local. Here's my resume. Thank you. Have a good day. By the time I was halfway out the door, I had an interview. And that happens. That happens to a lot of people. There are so many stories of people who come down here and they're dropping off resumes and they get a job on the spot because they showed up and they put in a little bit of effort. Now, when it comes to your resume, I will say your summary matters more than your experience unless you have oil field experience. These companies do not care if you worked at McDonald's. They do not care if you volunteered at your local library. What they care about, and this is what you're going to put in your summary, it should be contact information and then a short summary, 1 paragraph. That's it. You say, I am interested in an oil field career or an oil and gas career. I want to be an asset to the company. I want to work safely. I learn fast. I'm a hard worker. I show up on time. I'm reliable, so on. I'm here to be an asset to a company. I'm willing to work wherever and whenever you need me. Your goal is to sell yourself to this company. You want to go in there with the sales pitch that every company wants to hear. I'm here to make you money as efficiently and safely as humanly possible. That's all a company wants to hear. And if you're willing to work the night shifts, if you're willing to work the holidays, let them know that right there in that summary, right up top. That is how you get people to look at your resume. So yeah, I hope this helps somebody. This is my 4-phase process and the no returns policy when dropping off resumes. It's helped significant amount of people. I mean, I've gotten over 100 people hired into the oil field using this exact advice. Now, sometimes I pair it up with, jobs from Indeed, and I tell you, go apply to this, and this, and that is on my TikTok. You can find it there. We also have a few videos about entry-level jobs where we do exactly that on this page. Maybe we'll do them more often. We'll see. I gotta get better with posting on this. Even though we post so much on TikTok and everything, it's very rare I get on here and I have the time to do a long-form video. So this is one of them, and I'm gonna put this up on my TikTok. That way, people from TikTok, howdy. Hopefully, you guys are seeing this. Second of all, I appreciate you coming by, and hopefully this is something that you can search up really quickly. It's a long form content, so you'll probably get a lot more information than what I can get out in 3 minutes or so there on TikTok. And if you guys have any questions, if you want to know anything about the oil field or the financial side of everything, this is Oil and Cash. We talk about finances on here also. I know I haven't done that quite as much as the oil field stuff. But if you guys are interested in like my retirement plan, how I split up my money as a blue collar worker, whatever, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do long form content on anything that you guys have questions about. So yeah, you guys have a good one. Stay safe out there. This is your friendly neighborhood oil field guy signing out. Peace.